Question 221. Mountkirk Games wants to set up a continuous delivery pipeline. Their architecture includes many small services that they want to be able to update and roll back quickly. Mountkirk Games has the following requirements. Services are deployed redundantly across multiple regions in the US and Europe. Only front-end services are exposed on the public internet. They can provide a single front-end IP for their fleet of services. Deployment artifacts are immutable. Which set of products should they use? A. Google Cloud Storage, Google Cloud Data Flow, Google Compute Engine. B. Google Cloud Storage, Google App Engine, Google Network Load Balancer. C. Google Kubernetes Registry, Google Container Engine, Google HTTP/S Load Balancer. D. Google Cloud Functions, Google Cloud Pub Sub, Google Cloud Deployment Manager. The best choice is option C, Google Kubernetes Registry, Google Container Engine, Google HTTP/S Load Balancer. Explanation. GKE allows deploying microservices redundantly across multiple regions. GKE integrates with Google HTTP/S Load Balancer for a single front-end IP. Container Registry ensures immutable deployment artifacts. Other options. Option A and B do not support container-based workloads. Option D, Cloud Functions and Pub Sub not suitable for complex microservices architecture. Question 222. Mountkirk Games gaming servers are not automatically scaling properly. Last month, they rolled out a new feature, which suddenly became very popular. A record number of users are trying to use the service, but many of them are getting 503 errors and very slow response times. What should they investigate first? A. Verify that the database is online. B. Verify that the project quota hasn't been exceeded. C. Verify that the new feature code did not introduce any performance bugs. D. Verify that the load testing team is not running their tool against production. The best choice is option B, verify that the project quota hasn't been exceeded. Explanation. Quota limits can prevent automatic scaling, leading to 503 errors. Other options. Option A, checking database might help, but unlikely to be the root cause. Option C, performance bugs possible, but scaling issue suggests quota limits. Option D, load testing team unlikely to be the reason unless explicitly confirmed. Question 223. Mountkirk Games needs to create a repeatable and configurable mechanism for deploying isolated application environments. Developers and testers can access each other's environments and resources, but they cannot access staging or production resources. The staging environment needs access to some services from production. What should you do to isolate development environments from staging and production? A. Create a project for development and test and another for staging and production. B. Create a network for development and test and another for staging and production. C. Create one subnetwork for development and another for staging and production. D. Create one project for development, a second for staging and a third for production. The best choice is option D, create one project for development, a second for staging, and a third for production. Explanation. Project-level isolation is best practice for security and access control. Other options. Option A, one project for dev and test does not sufficiently isolate environments. Option B and C, networks or subnetworks does not provide full isolation compared to separate projects. Question 224. Mountkirk Games wants to set up a real-time analytics platform for their new game. The new platform must meet their technical requirements. Which combination of Google technologies will meet all of their requirements? A. Kubernetes Engine, Cloud Pub Sub, and Cloud SQL. B. Cloud Data Flow, Cloud Storage, Cloud Pub Sub, and BigQuery. C. Cloud SQL, Cloud Storage, Cloud Pub Sub, and Cloud Data Flow. D. Cloud Dataproc, Cloud Pub Sub, Cloud SQL, and Cloud Data Flow. E. Cloud Pub Sub, Compute Engine, Cloud Storage, and Cloud Dataproc. The best choice is option B, Cloud Data Flow, Cloud Storage, Cloud Pub Sub, and BigQuery. Explanation. Cloud Pub Sub handles real-time data ingestion. Cloud Data Flow processes streaming data. Cloud Storage is used for raw data storage. BigQuery performs real-time analytics. Other options. Option A, C, D, and E do not provide an optimal real-time analytics pipeline. Question 225. For this question, refer to the Mountkirk Games case study. Mountkirk Games wants to migrate from their current analytics and statistics reporting model to one that meets their technical requirements on Google Cloud Platform. Which two steps should be part of their migration plan? Choose two. A. Evaluate the impact of migrating their current batch ETL code to Cloud Data Flow. B. Write a schema migration plan to denormalize data for better performance in BigQuery. C. Draw an architecture diagram that shows how to move from a single MySQL database to a MySQL cluster. D. Load 10 terabits of analytics data from a previous game into a Cloud SQL instance, and run test queries against the full dataset to confirm that they complete successfully. E. Integrate Cloud Armor to defend against possible SQL injection attacks in analytics files uploaded to cloud storage. Correct answers, A and B. 1A. Evaluate the impact of migrating batch ETL code to Cloud Data Flow. Correct. Cloud Data Flow is a fully managed, scalable data processing service well-suited for ETL pipelines. Migrating batch ETL to Data Flow aligns with Google Cloud best practices for handling large-scale data processing efficiently. 2B. Write a schema migration plan to denormalize data for BigQuery. Correct. BigQuery performs better with denormalized data since it is optimized for analytical queries. A schema migration plan ensures that the data is structured efficiently to improve performance and scalability. Incorrect options. 1C. Draw an architecture diagram to move from a single MySQL database to a MySQL cluster. Incorrect. Mountkirk Games' requirement is for an analytics and reporting solution, not for scaling a transactional database like MySQL. They need a data warehouse solution like BigQuery rather than a MySQL cluster. 2D. Load 10 terabits of analytics data into Cloud SQL and run queries. Incorrect. Cloud SQL is not designed for analytical workloads on massive datasets. Running queries on 10 terabits of data would be inefficient and costly compared to BigQuery, which is optimized for this use case. 3E. Integrate Cloud Armor to defend against SQL injection in analytics files. Incorrect. Cloud Armor is a security service primarily used for web applications, protecting against attacks like DDoS. SQL injection protection is not relevant to analytics files, as they are not processed in a way vulnerable to such attacks. Question 226. For this question, refer to the Mountkirk Games case study. You need to analyze and define the technical architecture for the compute workloads for your company, Mountkirk Games. Considering the Mountkirk Games business and technical requirements, what should you do? A. Create network load balancers. Use preemptible compute engine instances. B. Create network load balancers. Use non-preemptible compute engine instances. C. Create a global load balancer with managed instance groups and autoscaling policies. Use preemptible compute engine instances. D. Create a global load balancer with managed instance groups and autoscaling policies. Use non-preemptible compute engine instances. Correct answer, D. D. Global load balancer with managed instance groups and autoscaling, using non-preemptible instances, correct. A global load balancer ensures requests are distributed efficiently across multiple regions. Managed instance groups provide automatic scaling based on demand. Non-preemptible instances ensure reliability, which is critical for a game backend. Incorrect options. 1A. Network load balancers with preemptible instances, incorrect. Network load balancers only work at L4 and do not support global traffic management. Preemptible instances are not ideal for core workloads since they can be terminated at any time, leading to instability. 2B. Network load balancers with non-preemptible instances, incorrect. While non-preemptible instances provide reliability, a network load balancer is insufficient for distributing traffic globally. A global HTTP/S load balancer is required for better performance and routing across multiple regions. 3C. Global load balancer with preemptible instances, incorrect. Preemptible instances can be terminated unexpectedly, which is not suitable for persistent game workloads. Question 227. For this question, refer to the Mountkirk Games case study. Mountkirk Games wants to design their solution for the future in order to take advantage of cloud and technology improvements as they become available. Which two steps should they take? Choose two. A. Store as much analytics and game activity data as financially feasible today so it can be used to train machine learning models to predict user behavior in the future. B. Begin packaging their game backend artifacts in container images and running them on Google Kubernetes Engine to improve the ability to scale up or down based on game activity. C. Set up a CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins and Spinnaker to automate canary deployments and improve development velocity. D. Adopt a schema versioning tool to reduce downtime when adding new game features that require storing additional player data in the database. E. Implement a weekly rolling maintenance process for the Linux virtual machines so they can apply critical kernel patches and package updates and reduce the risk of zero-day vulnerabilities. Correct answers, A and B. 1A. Store as much analytics and game activity data as feasible. Correct. Large datasets can be used for training ML models in the future, allowing Mountkirk Games to predict user behavior and enhance player engagement. 2B. Package backend artifacts in container images and use GKE. Correct. Google Kubernetes Engine, GKE, provides better scalability and flexibility for game workloads compared to VMs. Containers allow for easier deployment and scaling. Incorrect options. 1C. Set up a CI/CD pipeline with Jenkins and Spinnaker, incorrect. While CI/CD is good practice, it does not directly contribute to future-proofing in terms of cloud improvements. The focus should be on scalability and ML capabilities. 2D. Adopt schema versioning for database updates, incorrect. While schema versioning is useful, it does not provide a future-proof advantage in terms of cloud and technology improvements. 3E. Implement weekly rolling maintenance for VMs, incorrect. This is a standard operational practice but does not contribute significantly to future-proofing the system. Question 228. For this question, refer to the Mountkirk Games case study. Mountkirk Games wants you to design a way to test the analytics platform's resilience to changes in mobile network latency. What should you do? A. Deploy failure injection software to the game analytics platform that can inject additional latency to mobile client analytics traffic. B. Build a test client that can be run from a mobile phone emulator on a compute engine virtual machine, and run multiple copies in Google Cloud Platform regions all over the world to generate realistic traffic. C. Add the ability to introduce a random amount of delay before beginning to process analytics files uploaded from mobile devices. D. Create an opt-in beta of the game that runs on players' mobile devices and collects response times from analytics endpoints running in Google Cloud Platform regions all over the world. Correct answer, A. A. Deploy failure injection software to simulate latency, correct. Failure injection testing is the best approach for testing resilience under real-world conditions. It allows controlled testing of how latency affects the system. Incorrect options. 1B. Use a mobile phone emulator on compute engine, incorrect. This does not accurately simulate real-world network conditions, as mobile networks have unpredictable latency. 2C. Introduce a random delay before processing analytics files, incorrect. Artificially delaying processing does not simulate network latency accurately. 3D. Collect response times from real players in an opt-in beta, incorrect. While this gathers useful data, it does not provide a controlled testing environment for resilience. Question 229. For this question, refer to the Mountkirk Games case study. Which managed storage option meets Mountkirk's technical requirement for storing game activity in a time series database service? A. Cloud Bigtable. B. Cloud Spanner. C. BigQuery. D. Cloud Data Store. Correct answer, A. A. Cloud Bigtable, correct. Cloud Bigtable is optimized for time series data and real-time analytics, making it the best choice for storing game activity. Incorrect options. 1B. Cloud Spanner, incorrect. Cloud Spanner is a distributed relational database designed for transactional workloads, not time series data. 2C. BigQuery, incorrect. BigQuery is great for analytics but is not designed for real-time time series data storage and retrieval. 3D. Cloud Data Store, incorrect. Cloud Data Store is optimized for document-based NoSQL storage, not time series data. Question 230. For this question, refer to the Mountkirk Games case study. You are in charge of the new game backend platform architecture. The game communicates with the backend over a REST API. You want to follow Google recommended practices. How should you design the backend? A. Create an instance template for the backend. For every region, deploy it on a multi-zone managed instance group. Use an L4 load balancer. B. Create an instance template for the backend. For every region, deploy it on a single zone managed instance group. Use an L4 load balancer. C. Create an instance template for the backend. For every region, deploy it on a multi-zone managed instance group. Use an L7 load balancer. D. Create an instance template for the backend. For every region, deploy it on a single zone managed instance group. Use an L7 load balancer. Correct answer, C. C. Multi-zone managed instance group with an L7 load balancer, correct. A multi-zone managed instance group ensures high availability. An L7, HTTP/S, load balancer is recommended for REST APIs because it allows intelligent routing and better performance. Incorrect options. 1A. Multi-zone MIG with L4 load balancer, incorrect. L4 load balancers handle TCP/UDP traffic but do not optimize for REST API traffic, making them less suitable. 2B. Single-zone MIG with L4 load balancer, incorrect. Single-zone deployment lacks redundancy, making it a poor choice for a game backend. 3D. Single-zone MIG with L7 load balancer, incorrect. While L7 is the correct choice for REST APIs, a single-zone deployment is not reliable for global gaming applications.